We're going to be going over a very hot topic, which is the question that keeps on arising. What's the difference between change of character and break of structure? So I'm going to be answering that question today in today's video. Let me start first and foremost on the line chart to give you paint the picture, should I say, in these simpler terms, because reading it on a chart is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. So we'll start out here on the line charts. Let's say we have some bullish order flow, price is trending to the upsides, taking out levels of highs, taking out the high, respecting the lows. So here we have a break of structure and a break of structure. And let's say we have a demand level in here, number one. And then let's say there was a demand level in here, number two. Then let's say there was a supply level. For the purpose of this video, I will actually change the color of my supply zones. Let's go for a light blue. So blue equals supply, gray equals demand. And then let's say we have a level of demand. And then let's say we have another level of demand. And then let's say we have a nice level of supply. And then of course, once again, a nice level of demand, right? So we have multiple supply and demand levels, right? So we obviously know that these right here are our breaks of structures, right? Price is broke structure, price again, break structure. So that's a structure break, right? Essentially it's a high that pulls back, that gets broken then by a low. Break of structure, pull back, break of structure. A change of character is simply just a level of demand or supply being broken that put in a high. So right here, this gray box right here represents a demand zone that puts in this high right here. So once that gets broken, that right there is your change of character. However, price, as you can very clearly see, comes back in and mitigates the origin, the piece of supply, the piece of demand, sorry, that is deeper in the leg, in the discounted area of the leg. And yeah, you can see that it still reacts. Now, let's say this level right here is the supply level that put in this level. When that gets broken, that is once again a change of character. Change of character. So you can see that the change of character can take place here and still not break the high. Even if price did this, that would still absolutely be valid, right? Even if price didn't take out the high and just changed character, then pulled back, then broke the high, the break of structure would just be here, but still the change of character would be here. And that is the key differentiation between a break of structure and a change of character. Essentially, a break of structure is a break of structure and a change of character is a change of character. So understanding them both individually will really paint the picture for what they mean together. With that being said, of course, you have to go and understand them individually, and actually we do have the videos on what is a break of structure and what is a change of character individually on the YouTube channel. So you can go and find them and actually check them out. But this is them both put together. So then as we can see, we have our level of supply that was broken by a level of demand. Now let's say this level right here is the origin, this is the decisional. The change of character actually happened from this demand level, and then you can see that this is a demand that put in the high. So when that demand gets broken, that is a change of character, right? Price is there is more supply than there is demand. That's why price is going down. That does not mean that price is going to take out the low, because the structure is bullish. Structure is more important. We will tell you structure is the king, because it is. The same rules apply once again. As you can see, supply level. Let's actually change this for this one. Let's say now that the supply zone that puts in the low is here, right? In this blue box. So when that gets broken, that's a what? Change of character. So let's say price only did this into the demand that caused it, and then into the high. It's still cool, right? Because it's still structure. This low broke this high. We had some, interactions in between, but that is totally normal. Let's go ahead and take this concept now over into the charts to really just give it you plain and simply. Like, it's very easy to understand. So I'm just going to take this as the high and this as the low. So we can understand the origin of the high that put the low in is right here. But then we can see that this high put in this, we accumulate, we sell off, and then we take out the high, right? That's an internal break of structure. It's a minor break of structure. It's an emboss. A new video will be coming out shortly on what is an emboss. But that's an emboss. Now we can see that the actual level of supply that puts in the low is here. So once this gets broken, right? Once that gets broken, that is actually your change of character. And then we have the decisional, and of course the origin, right? So those are your two demand levels that cause the change of character. And then we have the emboss. Now, when price breaks the lows, of course, as you can see, we only break of a wick, which just means it's a liquidation. It's a liquidation sweep, which just means that we have taken orders, the sell stops and whatnot that rest below these lows, to actually take out the liquidity to return back to our area of interest. A change of character, minor break of structure, but still actually respecting structure. High, low, lower high, lower low. And now here's what's strange again, right? So this is the high right here that puts in the lower low. That's the structural leg, right? But in between the structural leg, we of course have, let's say, this level of supply, right? That is a level of supply. And when that supply gets broken, that is a change of character, which means there is more demand than there is supply. So price will be temporarily increasing until we land in an area of structure and get a realignment that can then decrease. Now we have a level of supply at the origin right here, which gets tapped perfectly, pushes down. Of course, we have this overall supply range. Also, right here, we tap into this supply range, fail to break the lows. What we're doing though in the process of doing all this, creating what? Liquidity. Liquidity to take, right? And then you can very clearly see these highs go up in here and we tap into our supply. So don't be caught on the wrong side of the markets thinking that we can essentially just be taking longs because, well, structure is bearish. Here's the high that's put in the low. Now we're just pulling back up and doing what in the process? Building liquidity to take. Once we get into our area of interest, then we have a change of character. Why is this the change of character? because this right here is the level of demand that put us into the high. So we realign. Of course, this leaves behind supply zone number 1 and supply zone number 2 before melting and giving us a break of structure, the real break of structure. Now, here is a supply level that put the lows in. Not sure exactly what happened. Okay, now here's a new supply level that put the lows in. Supply is in control from this region of price. Mitigation, respected and melted. Now supply is in control from this level of price. And there is a change of character, right? That's not a break of structure. On a low time frame, it's a probable break of structure, but right now, this is just a supply that put in a low broken through by demand. All right, and then of course we have the origin, which is still partially unmitigated. And then this wick is also, this overall range, to be honest, is all unmitigated demand. Could mitigate any of it, could mitigate nothing of it. Comes back into the origin. So what do we see here? We see a change of character, because here is the demand level that put in the high. And do the lows go, or does the high go? Okay, so just building back up, kind of on the picture of price, we can see that still the lows are being kept intact, but what are we doing? Of course, we are creating liquidity. We have still respected the highs that have caused a change of character. We've had a newly formed change of character in here. We have a unmitigated supply range. And so, and price takes a loss, which is much expected, right? The origin, structural origin of the move is this supply range in here. This supply range was actually then swept by this, which left behind this supply range and then the continuation. And that is the difference between break of structure and changes of character, right? Breaks of structure are much more important than changes of character. Changes of character are happening everywhere. Essentially, a change of character is just the switch from supply and control to demand and control, which happens everywhere. Because even as price, if we go back down to here, even as price puts in a higher high, as price comes back to put in a higher low, the chances are that there will be a bearish change of character on the way down to put in the higher low. That does not mean that price is going to continually decrease, and that does not necessarily mean that you can be taking shorts. It just means that price is decreasing. There is more supply in the market. But understanding structure is the key differentiation, which takes a smart money trader from not profitable and inconsistent to profitable and consistent. Thank you guys for being here. I do really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy the video, please go ahead and hit that like button and do subscribe to